Hey everybody, how's it doing? Welcome again, once again, to Dark Realms Reviews. Tonight, we are going to do a spoiler review of a movie from 1981. It's a little slasher film I like to call Happy Birthday to Me. Let's see, check my comments here really quick. Hey Lester, how you doing? What's up, Stella? How you doing there? How is everybody this evening? So, without further ado, let's get to the review. All right, so Happy Birthday to Me was put out in 1981. It was directed by J. Lee Thompson, starring Melissa Sue Anderson, Glenn Ford, Lawrence Dane, Sharon Acker, Francis Hyland, Tracy E. Bregman, and Lisa Langlois. It came out on May 15th, 1981 here in the States, and its runtime was 111 minutes. And Happy Birthday to Me tells the story of Jenny Wainwright, who is a pretty popular girl at a senior prep school called Crawford Academy. She's a member of an elite group called the Top Tens. They're an elite group of privileged and popular students. Each night, the group meets at a tavern called the Silent Woman Tavern. It's a pub. And at the start of the movie, as it opens up, one of the Top Tens, a girl by the name of Bernadette O'Hara, is attacked as she's getting into her car by an unseen assailant. She tries to hide in the cars to get away from the person. And eventually, the person catches her and cuts her throat with a straight razor. The next scene, they come out to they show the Top Tens at the bar, and as Jenny's coming in, they ask her if she's seen Bernadette. Nobody's seen Bernadette that night. And while they're in the bar, one of the group, a kid named Alfred, who's a little weird one of the group, he brings his pet rat into the bar, and there's another group of like Shriners guys over here making a bunch of noise, taking off these kids, and they decide to pull a little trick on him. One of the other boys grabs Alfred's rat and throws him in a pint of beer he buys for the head poobah of the Shriners group, and the kids end up getting chased out of the bar. Well, as they all get chased out of the bar, they start heading to the cars, and they play this game with this bridge near the bar. It's one of those toll bridges that opens up and down, and they all hop into the cars, and Jenny gets shoved in one of the cars, and they all go running for the bridge. Hey, what's up, Jedi Bill? How you doing? So they all go running. They all go driving really fast for the bridge because they play this game where they jump the thing as the bridge is opening up. Well, one of them chickens out before he even gets to the bridge. A couple of them get over the bridge, and the last one, the car with Jenny in it, gets over the bridge, and as it's coming down on the other end, crashes, freaks Jenny out. She gets out of the car and runs because she lives close to the bridge. And on her way to the bridge, and on her way home, she stops in the cemetery where her mother's buried. And she runs into a character by the name of Etienne in the cemetery who wants to walk her home. He's also another one of the Top Tens. And Etienne, she tells him, I don't need help walking home. I'm right over there. And she gets back to the house. Her dad's there. Her dad questions her about where she's been. She tells him I went to visit mom after I was hanging out with my friends. And her dad have a little bitty argument, but it gets, it's overdone real quick. And she goes upstairs to take a shower. Well, as she's upstairs in the shower, she closes her bedroom window, and you can tell she's being watched by somebody in the room. Well, when she's in the bathroom getting her shower ready, she hears the window in the bedroom open up again. She goes out there and finds the window open. She freaks out and screams, blah, blah, blah. Shuts the window, freaks out. Well, the next day, they go to school, and once again, Bernadette fails to show up at school the next day. And Jenny starts having problems with her memories, so she calls her psychiatrist, Dr. Faraday, to try to figure out what's going on in her head. she finds out from her doctor that there was a wreck. She's repressed some of her memories, but there was a wreck which she was in when she was younger, a few years before, and she has been repressing those memories. So he's helping her try to get her memory back. Well, later that day, they go to watch their friend Etienne do a motocross race, and he wins. And they decide they're all going to meet up at the bar later that night. Well, before they leave the motocross, Etienne reveals to Jenny that he was the one that was in her bedroom last night. He has a pair of her panties to prove it. Kind of a sick little topic there. It seems like a lot of the girls are into a lot of the guys in the group are into Jenny. Even though Anne and a couple other girls are members of the team, members of the group as well. And like I said, Jenny's having problems with her memories, so she's having issues. She's not all up here. uh, as the later that evening, before the bar, you get this scene of Etienne, and he's working on his bike, on his motocross bike, and he's wearing this scarf around his neck. Well, a shadowy figure comes into the room, grabs his scarf, and as he's testing his back wheel on his motorcycle, the dark figure throws the scarf through the spokes on the wheel, and he gets dragged into the wheel of his motorcycle, and his neck gets broke. Another one of the guys later on, named Greg, is lifting weights in his workout spot, waiting for his girlfriend to show up with some pizza and beer. And once again, the same figure that visited Etienne earlier in the night shows up. He chats with him for a little bit, seems to know who it is, asks him to put more weights on the bar as he's laying on the bench to lift the weights, and he lifts it, and it appears to be too much weight. And the person that you can't see their face pulls the rack away from the thing, so he's stuck there with the weights lifted up. And the person takes a weight and walks around in front of him and drops the weight on his crotch, and he drops the bar with all the weight on it on his own neck, and it breaks his neck and kills him. Well, everybody seems to be concerned, about the people that are missing. At this point, there's two boys, and there's Etienne and Greg and Bernadette that are all missing. Yeah, killer workout, right? So all these people are missing. It's starting to catch the attention of the authorities and the people that run the prep school. There's a lot of investigations going on, and the top 10s group, they're down 3, so now there's 7 of them left. And most of the top 10s think that it's the little creepy guy Alfred, because he's got this taxidermy thing he does, and he's just a really creepy dude. So they go on. Pardon me. There's an incident. Now, well, Alfred, the little creepy guy, he seems to be enamored of Jenny, and he follows her to the cemetery one night while she's visiting her mother, and freaks her out. And she used to carry these clipping shears, to her mother's graveside to clip the grass around her mother's grave. And he freaks her out, and she ends up stabbing him with the garden shears. Well, all of this is commencing down to Jenny's 18th birthday, which is on the next weekend. Her father leaves on a business trip. There's a school dance. So the 7 becomes 6. Jenny dances with Steve at the dance, And she invites Steve back to her house and says, so they can get a little down. They're going to drink some wine, smoke some marijuana. She's going to make him some snacks, and they're going to get busy. So she invites him back to the house. As they're making out in front of the in front of the fireplace, she takes one of the shish kebabs. She acts like she's feeding him, and she shoves it through his throat, into his mouth and through his throat. And the 6 become 5. Jenny's best friend Ann comes to the house the next morning because she sees Jenny leave with Steve the night before. While Jenny's upstairs, Jenny tells her, "I'm going to go upstairs, take a shower. You make yourself at home. We'll come back and talk about the day later on." This is on the day of Jenny's birthday. Well, when Jenny's in the shower, she has another flashback, and basically what had happened is 5 years before, on her 13th birthday, her mother had invited all of her friends to the house, but they didn't show up. They went to a party at Annie's house. And her mother, who's a drunk, gets upset, and she has Jenny get in the car with her, and they're going to drive over there to Annie Thomason's house, and with this attitude of, why the hell are you leaving my daughter out, and all this other. And while they're driving, they get to the bridge, and they get caught as the bridge is opening up, and they end up plummeting into the river, and Jenny's mother dies, and Jenny ends up getting injured where she has this brain injury. And this is the memories that she's been suppressing. Jenny starts thinking, well, maybe she's been killing her friends during her blackouts. And it appears that she has been, because, like I said before, it appears that she killed Alfred and Steve. Well, she calls Dr. Faraday and gets onto him about the procedures that she's gone through. Hey, tell me what's going on. What's going on? Why is this going on? What did I do? What's going on here? And as she's waiting for him to get to the house, she steps back into the bathroom, and she has this vision of her best friend Ann drowned in the bathtub. So she calls the doctor. When the doctor gets there, she's like screaming to him, I killed her, blah, blah, blah. The doctor's like, no, you didn't. And she's like, but she's upstairs. You've got to go look. And he drags her upstairs and shows her that Annie's not in the bathtub. And he gives her a sedative and puts her to bed. And the next morning, the detectives show up at the house, and the doctor answers the door, says that Jenny's not feeling well. She's laying down. She's been here all weekend. She hasn't had any friends over. So the detective hands him a card and says, okay, well, I'll be back later. Tell Jenny that I need to speak with her. And so Jenny goes, the Lester, you make me laugh a lot. So anyway, Jenny, the next day, the doctor, Jenny wakes up later in the night, and she takes a golf club and murders the doctor. Or at least that's what she sees in her head. Well, that night, her dad comes home. Later on that night, her dad comes home and finds nobody at the house, but he finds all the blood upstairs from when the doctor got beat to death with a golf club. So he goes running out into the storm and goes to look for where Jenny's at, and he runs into one of Jenny's friends standing frozen in the yard in a state of shock, clutching a wrapped gift. And her father finds it as he passes through the cemetery looking for his daughter. He finds his wife's grave dug up, and Dr. Faraday's corpse is lying in the grave, and his wife's body is missing. he notices a light on at the family's guest cottage, and inside he finds each member of the top 10 sitting around the table all dead, and he finds his daughter with a birthday cake lighting the candles and singing happy birthday to herself. And he's freaking out. He's like, "Oh my god, what's going on? What did you do?" And she basically takes the knife she's cutting the cake with and cuts her father's throat, puts a birthday hat on him. And as she's walking around to the table, there's one member of the kids is laying there with the head down. Well, Jenny pulls the girl's head up, and it looks like her. It's like, why is there suddenly two Jennies? So the Jenny that was passed out at the table gets up and notices she's looking at herself, and she goes to grab the one girl standing up that looks like her, takes a knife, and she's about to kill the Jenny sitting down. You come to find out that the one that was sitting in the chair is the actual real Jenny. As they're fighting, she grabs the other girl's face, and as she moves her hand across the girl's face, the mask rips off, and she finds out that it's her best friend Anne. And as they're struggling, Anne tells her that the reason her mother had gotten mad years before is that her father, Anne's father, had had an affair with Jenny's mom, and that Jenny was the result. And that because of that, Anne's mother had left her father, so this had ruined Anne's life. And this whole time where we thought Jenny was the one killing everybody, it was actually Anne disguised as Jenny killing everyone. As they're struggling, Jenny in turn ends up killing Anne with the knife. Kills her half sister Anne with a knife. And as she's standing over Anne's corpse, the police detective walks into the room, and Jenny's mind is finally broken. Jenny's gone. All of her friends are dead, killed by her half sister Anne. She's just killed her half sister. And in walks this police detective, and he's like, "Oh my God, what have you done?" And as he says that, she continues going on singing happy birthday to herself. And that's where the movie ends. Uh, it's one of those weird little low budget. Yeah. It's this weird little low budget slasher movie from the 80s. Really good movie. It's better than it has any business being. Let me just say that, for as low budget as it is. So in my little review thing here, I'm going to give it a I'm gonna give it a C rating for Catch It on Streaming. It is currently streaming on the Tubi streaming service. You'll have to deal with commercials over there, but hey, it's worth giving it a watch. And also, Tubi is free; you don't have to pay for it. So that will be the end of our review. As you can see here, my Instagram and Twitter are posted up on the screen here. I'm at Instagram at Thad Bays. Also says Hello Humans over there. And I'm at Twitter at RomanGia6767. Yes, Alec Arcane. She was played by Mary Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie. She's played by the girl that played the oldest of the Ingalls sisters. So, I am actually tonight simulcasting this not only on Brodan's channel, but on my own personal channel, which Stella earlier put in the chat right above you. If you guys would do me a favor, go over to my channel on YouTube. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to have to post that. Give me just a second. I will get that for you. Oh. All right. This is my personal YouTube channel. If you would, please go over there and give me a like and a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'm trying to reach 100 subscriptions on my own personal channel by the end of March. So if you would help me out with that, I would appreciate it. And everyone that has showed up today, thank you for being here. And everyone who catches it on the watch over, also thank you for being here. And I will say, have a good evening, and I'll see you in the films. Take it easy.